A powerful winter storm swept across the Great Lakes region and into the Northeast, creating extremely dangerous travel conditions and triggering massive multi-vehicle pileups across several states, with at least 36 vehicles involved in a chain reaction crash on Interstate 81 south of Syracuse in Lafayette, New York, where at least 3 tractor trailers were involved and 7 people were rushed to the hospital, with several suffering broken bones, while the highway remained shut down for hours. In Erie County, Pennsylvania, a violent chain reaction crash on I-90 crushed cars and trucks, leaving mangled metal littering the roadway, with several people rushed to hospitals, and approximately 80 miles south in Clarion County, first responders raced to another multi-vehicle crash on I-80. More than a foot of lake effect snow fell from upstate New York to Michigan, with Bridgman, Michigan receiving snow at nearly 2 inches per hour, while in Manhattan, Illinois, southwest of Chicago. A deadly head-on crash involving a school bus killed 1 person in a car, with 10 students and the bus driver taken to the hospital as a precaution as authorities continue investigating the cause. Wind chills are expected to drop to around 11 degrees in Philadelphia, 13 in New York, and 10 in Boston, with the second storm system approaching the region, bringing another cold blast. Meanwhile, chaos erupted on the streets of Minneapolis for the second time in a week after an ICE agent shot and wounded Venezuelan national Julio Cesar Sosa Silas during a targeted operation, with Homeland Security officials saying that during the struggle 2 men attempted to attack the agent, and all 3 men are now in custody. After news of the shooting spread, protesters gathered at the scene, throwing fireworks and clashing with police, coming just 1 week after another ICE-involved shooting in the city. With approximately 3,000 federal agents operating in the city and pulling some residents from their cars, many citizens have become frightened. And one resident named Nimka Omar recorded an interaction with federal agents who questioned her citizenship and demanded identification. But she refused, stating she was a United States citizen and did not need identification to walk in her own city, and the agents eventually left. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey expressed outrage over these stops, calling ICE conduct disgusting and intolerable, while also calling for residents to remain peaceful and not counter chaos with more chaos. President Trump responded by threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act, writing on social media that if Minnesota politicians do not stop what he called professional agitators and insurrectionists from attacking ICE agents, he will institute the Insurrection Act, which would give him the power to deploy United States military forces in Minnesota. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is not requesting military assistance and instead called for ICE to leave the state, stating they have done enough and should end what he called an occupation. A woman named Aliyah Rahman, who was pulled from her vehicle by ICE agents this week while telling them she was disabled, released a statement saying she lost consciousness and was taken to the hospital and feels lucky to be alive. In other political news, Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado met with President Trump at the White House and brought a special gift in an effort to win his support, presenting him with the Nobel Peace Prize she had won, describing it as recognition for his unique commitment to Venezuelan freedom. President Trump has previously expressed his belief that he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize more than anyone in history, and when asked if Machado should lead Venezuela, considering her party claims they won 80% of the vote in the last election, Trump responded that it would be very tough for her to be the leader if she does not have the support or respect within the country, and he has since praised Venezuela's new acting president, Delcy Rodriguez, who was former President Maduro's second in command. The Nobel Committee has clarified that once awarded, the prize cannot be revoked, transferred, or shared with others, and the decision stands for all time. A major scandal is unfolding in college sports as federal prosecutors have charged dozens of Division I basketball players with taking bribes from sports bettors to intentionally lose games over a 3-year period in what authorities are calling a historic and massive scheme that enveloped the world of college basketball, involving dozens of games, athletes, and 17 teams. Among those charged is Quavius Hunter, a New Orleans guard who allegedly agreed to underperform in a 2024 game against McNeese State in exchange for thousands of dollars, and Hunter admitted to point shaving, saying he was money hungry. While college basketball players can legally earn money through name, image, and likeness deals, the indictment states bribe payments were more lucrative, ranging from $10,000 to $30,000 per game. In space news, 4 astronauts have returned to Earth in the first-ever medical evacuation from the International Space Station, with the crew returning nearly 6 weeks early after one astronaut experienced a medical issue. The crew, including 2 Americans, boarded a SpaceX Dragon capsule and undocked from the space station, later re-entering Earth's atmosphere with their capsule lighting up the sky before deploying parachutes and splashing down off the coast of San Diego, with all crew members now being medically evaluated and the affected astronaut reported to be doing fine. On healthcare, after promising his own plan for more than a decade, President Trump finally unveiled what he calls his great healthcare plan, though healthcare policy experts say it leaves more questions than answers, with the president stating the government would pay money directly to citizens who would then use it to purchase their own healthcare, but he did not explain how this would work. The plan consists of only a few paragraphs on the White House website, with officials calling it a framework and broad direction, while Congress is expected to work out the specifics. Trump also wants Congress to codify deals he has struck with pharmaceutical companies to reduce prescription drug costs and wants insurance companies to be more transparent about rates. In a recent poll, 52% of voters say President Trump has hurt the cost of health care, and insurance premiums have risen for more than 20 million Americans after Affordable Care Act subsidies expired. With one graphic designer and cancer patient from Denver, Colorado seeing her monthly premium increase 35% from $1,400 to $1,900, and questioning how it is fair that a cancer patient's first thought has to be whether they can afford treatment to stay alive. Actor Matthew McConaughey has taken legal action to protect himself from artificial intelligence recreating his image, likeness, and voice without permission, with the Oscar-winning actor trademarking himself and his iconic catchphrases, securing 7 trademarks total. McConaughey stated he wants to know that when his voice or likeness is used, it is because he approved and signed off on it, and his lawyers said they embrace AI and actively support its evolution, but added that progress should have boundaries. A dramatic shootout occurred between deputies and a carjacking suspect outside Denver after authorities say the suspect fired at deputies when they pinned his vehicle, resulting in both the deputy and the suspect being injured, with the suspect now under arrest. In New York City's meatpacking district, armed robbers held customers at gunpoint at a Pokémon card store, and employees say the thieves escaped with more than $100,000 in merchandise. 24 hours after a major service outage affecting more than 1 million users who were unable to make calls or access data, Verizon is now offering customers a $20 credit, which can be claimed through their app. The New York Giants may soon have a new head coach, as reports indicate John Harbaugh, who coached the Baltimore Ravens for 18 seasons, is finalizing a coaching deal with the team. Finally, in Cleveland, Tennessee, outside Chattanooga, a heartwarming story emerged about a remarkable bond between a 4-year-old girl named Oakley and her favorite restaurant server, Gabby, at La Altina Mexican restaurant, where the Hale family has been going for years. Oakley considers Gabby her best friend and one of her grandmothers, running up to her for a hug every visit and even helping clean up after dinner, with her parents Jordan and Casey sharing their gratitude, saying that having Gabby in their lives has been such a gift, and that seeing the bond between different generations reminds everyone that love goes beyond differences, which is the hope they want to share with the world.